Welcome back to Audiobook Bay. Today we're exploring The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, a legendary venture capitalist and co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, one of the world's most influential investment firms. Before becoming an investor, Horowitz ran Opsware, which he sold to Hewlett-Packard for $1,600 million. So he's not speaking from theory. He's speaking from real experience. Unlike most management books that offer tidy solutions and best practices, Horowitz pulls back the curtain on the brutal realities of building and scaling companies. This book isn't about best practices or following a playbook. It's about what actually happens when everything goes wrong and how you navigate those impossible situations. Horowitz starts with a simple premise that most founders never hear before they become a CEO. Being a CEO is hard. Not just challenging or demanding. Hard, in a way that most people don't anticipate until they are in the thick of it. You don't get management training. You don't get a manual. You're making decisions that will affect hundreds of employees and their families, their mortgages, their healthcare, often with incomplete information and impossible choices. This book is his attempt to be the mentor that most founders never get. The guidance that nobody tells you about before you take the job. The reality check you need to hear. Takeaway 1. In a crisis, your team must have complete faith in you while also not believing everything you say. This sounds paradoxical, but it's one of the most important truths in leadership. Employees will panic during crises. They will lose confidence. They will wonder if the company is going under. They need to believe their CEO has a plan and can lead them through the fire. Yet that same CEO must be ruthlessly honest about the problems and the uncertain path forward. You must project confidence while admitting you don't have all the answers. The moment your team thinks you're lying to them, you've lost control of the ship. They'll start updating their resumes. You'll lose the best people first, so you have to be honest and confident at the same time. It's a delicate balance. Takeaway 2. When you're losing, you have to go straight at your fears. Most struggling companies try to minimize bad news. They sugarcoat reports to boards. They avoid difficult conversations with employees. They hope problems resolve on their own. They think silence will make things better. They bury bad news instead of facing it. Horowitz's advice is the opposite of this approach. When business is bad, you amplify communication. You tell people the truth. You acknowledge the fear in the room. You face the situation head-on. This builds trust because people know you're not bullshitting them. They know you're dealing with reality, not hiding from it. People respect leaders who face reality honestly and communicate clearly even when the news is bad. Transparency builds trust. Takeaway 3. Hire people that are smarter than you in their domain. This sounds obvious, but most founders can't do it. They hire people that are smarter than their direct competitors, but not smarter than themselves. This is insecurity in disguise. They want to be the smartest person in the room. The hard thing is building an organization where the best people report to you and you don't feel threatened by them. In fact, you should feel energized by their intelligence and capability. If everyone on your team is smarter than you in their field, you've assembled something truly great. You're a multiplier, not a bottleneck. You're enabling great people to do great work. The best teams have leaders who are comfortable not being the smartest person in the room. Your job is to lead, not to be brilliant. Takeaway 4. Sometimes the best strategy is to acknowledge that you've lost and go all in on a different approach. Horowitz discusses how companies often fall into the trap of escalation. They're invested in a particular direction, and as it fails, they double down instead of pivoting. They think more resources will fix it. They think more time will fix it. The hard thing is having the courage to say, "We were wrong, let's change." This is harder than it sounds because it means admitting failure to investors, to employees, and to yourself. But sometimes the only way forward is to face that failure and change course. The longer you wait, the more expensive the pivot becomes. You waste resources fighting for a lost cause. Your pride shouldn't cost you the company. Takeaway 5. Your culture is the second most important thing at your company. First is survival. You have to keep the lights on. You have to generate enough revenue to pay people and keep the doors open. No culture matters if the company goes out of business. Second is culture. Because the organization you build now will determine everything that happens after you survive. Culture isn't about ping-pong tables or free food or office perks. It's about what behaviors are rewarded, what you tolerate, and what you fire people for. Culture is what happens when nobody is watching. It's the natural behavior of your team when there's no explicit rules stopping them. Culture compounds over time. It either helps you or hurts you. Bad culture is hard to fix at scale. Get it right early. Takeaway 6. Peacetime CEO and wartime CEO are two completely different jobs. In peacetime, you focus on process, scaling, optimization, and growing margins. You think long-term, you invest in the right way to do things. You build infrastructure. You optimize. In wartime, you focus on survival. You make fast decisions even with incomplete information. You reorganize for speed. You may break all the peacetime rules because the goal is to not die. The hard thing is knowing which mode you're in and being honest about it. Most companies need wartime CEOs when business gets difficult, but they try to operate like they're in peacetime. They cling to their processes instead of adapting to reality. You have to recognize which situation you're in and adjust your leadership style accordingly. Takeaway 7. Good people doing bad things with good intentions happens more often than we admit. Horowitz talks about how moral people can make immoral decisions when they rationalize those decisions. A founder might cut corners on a deal thinking it's necessary for survival. A salesperson might lie to a customer thinking it helps their company. A manager might break a promise thinking it's for the greater good. The hard thing is building systems and culture that prevent this. It's easier to prevent bad behavior through structure and rules than to change it through lectures and value statements. Create accountability systems that make the right thing the easy thing. Don't rely on people's morality when you can build systems that prevent bad behavior. Good intentions aren't enough. Takeaway 8. The human organization will always have problems because it's made of humans. Some founders think the goal is to create a perfect, frictionless organization. It's not possible. The goal is to make an organization good enough to execute on your mission while acknowledging that it will always be messy. People have egos. People get jealous. People make mistakes. People have off days. People have personal problems that affect their work. The hard thing is building an organization where these human problems don't derail the entire mission. You need structures that work despite human imperfection, not structures that ignore human nature. Accept the messiness and build systems that work anyway. Perfection is not the goal. Functionality is. Takeaway 9. Conviction is more important than being right. The best CEOs have conviction about where they are heading, but they're not dogmatic about how to get there. They'll listen to data, advisors, and employees, but they won't get blown around by every opinion. This is distinct from stubbornness. Stubbornness is about defending your ego and being right. Conviction is about moving forward toward a goal even when the path is unclear. Sometimes you'll be wrong, but you'll learn faster and course correct faster than the competition. Conviction without flexibility is stubbornness. Flexibility without conviction is chaos. You need both conviction and flexibility in equal measure. Takeaway 10. The struggle is the point. This is perhaps Horowitz's most important message to founders. We romanticize entrepreneurship as the moment of success, the product launch, the milestone reached, the acquisition, the IPO, but the value is created in the struggle. When you're fighting to survive, when you're making impossible choices, when you're pushing yourself and your team to the limits, that's where you develop the depth and wisdom that makes you a great CEO and leader. The hard thing about hard things is that it's supposed to be hard. Your struggle makes you who you become. Don't avoid the struggle. Embrace it. It's the only way to grow. That's The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. This is essential reading for anyone who has even thought about becoming a CEO or founder. It's not motivational. It's not designed to make you feel good. It's designed to tell you the truth about what you're getting into, and that's what makes it so valuable. Horowitz doesn't soften the blow or offer false hope. He just tells you what it's like and how to survive it. If you're building a company or leading a team, these insights will prepare you for the realities ahead. Don't expect management to be easy. Expect it to be hard, and then you'll be ready. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to Audiobook Bay and share this with a founder who needs to hear it. The world needs more honest voices talking about what it's really like to build a company. Get the book. Read it multiple times. Refer back to it when you're facing difficult decisions. Thanks for listening.